everyone, and welcome back to Heather's How To's. Today I'm going to be showing you all how to bake a cake at college. As you can probably tell, college apartments aren't the most spacious, and especially when it comes to the kitchen area. Some might say that this is quite impossible, but for me, I see it as a challenge. And from all the looks of these bad boy cakes, I'd say I won that challenge. So this weekend is my best friend's 21st birthday party, and then it got me thinking, what could I do that would kind of surprise everyone and fill the college atmosphere with the 21st birthday vibe? Well, I came up with the idea of making a keg cake. So with all that being said, let's not waste any more time and let's get to baking. Step 1, we gotta preheat the oven to whatever the recipe says. Next, you wanna make sure that you have all of your ingredients. Trust me, I've made this mistake before and I've had to stop in the middle of baking just to run to the store and get stuff. So make sure we have our eggs, our unsalted butter, our salt, our lemon extract, our baking soda, and our baking powder. Be careful not to mix the two because people can get confused. Next, you're gonna wanna take the pan and coat your pans lightly. Trust me, I know I keep saying that this step is necessary, but trust me, it is not worth making this awesome, yummy cake if you can't even get it out of the pan. Once the step is complete, you can move on to step 2. Step 2, make the batter.
To make the batter, you're going to want to add 1 3/4 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of baking soda, 1/4 a teaspoon of salt, and move this dry mixture to the side for a bit. Next, add a stick of unsalted butter and mix until creamy. Then, add 3/4 a cup of sugar, half a teaspoon of lemon extract, an egg and an egg yolk to the butter, and scrape the sides so everything can be mixed together. Once the sugar and egg are mixed with the fluffy butter, you can go ahead and add half the flour mixture into the mixer on low speed. Let me say again, low speed. Then add half a cup of sour cream or half a 8-ounce container. Not sure why the half thing, just following the recipe. Once both are mixed in, you can add the rest of the flour and sour cream. Once this is all mixed again, turn off the mixer and add in the lemon juice that I forgot to mention in the ingredients earlier. Hope you didn't forget that. Add in 1.5 teaspoons of the lemon juice into the mixer bowl and use a spatula to fold in the lemon juice. Folding in means to put half of the batter on top of the other over and over until the mixture is mixed in well, or until you can't see the lemon juice anymore. So now we're going to move on to step 3, putting the batter in the pans. Once your batter is nice and lemony, you can add it to your pan sprayed pans. Depending on what type of pan you're using, you'll want to make sure that the batter is split evenly amongst each pan, like so. Once all your pans have their batter, you'll want to take the spatula and spread the batter evenly amongst the pan. I know a lot of sharing going on here between pans, so I hope your pans are not the selfish type. I mean, sharing is caring. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't spend as much time on a birthday cake for a friend. But we love our friends and we love kindness. So, anyways, on track to baking our cake. Now we can move on to step 4. Now that we have our batter in our pans, we can stick them in the oven. I never use an oven mitt, as you can see, just because I know how to put the cake in without touching the hot rack. But if you're not as secure in your skills, I recommend using an oven mitt. And don't forget to set the timer. So once the timer goes off, open the oven and check the color of the cakes. You want your cake to be a light golden brown. Another way to test if they're done though is using a toothpick or a cake tester that I have in my hand because I'm fancy like that, and put it in the middle of the cake to see if it's nice and cooked. If it is cooked, it won't have any leftover batter when pulling it out. If it isn't done, it'll probably look something like this with a little bit of leftover batter. If this happens, I'd put the cake back in the oven for 2 more minutes or so it can continue to bake to its full potential.
So while I let this cake cool, I'm just gonna plop on over to that couch that you can't see and go watch some TV. I recommend you do too. College for you.
And now we're on to step 7, icing the cake. And now I'm spreading it on the cake holder to give the cake a nice base to keep it from going anywhere. You never know what happens at these college parties. Add a layer of icing and spread it nice and thick. You can never have too much icing, my grandma at least has told me over the years. Now, do this with each layer of cake until you reach the top layer. For our icing, I made the blueberry buttercream from the link below while you guys weren't looking. Now, you're going to want to ice the sides of the cake. I didn't really think this ahead and I ran out of icing, so I whipped up some normal buttercream to finish off the job. Next, I like to add another layer of stability just because I have to transport these cakes, so I add some wooden dowels. So naturally, if you can count, our next step would be number 9, adding the fondant. But sadly, my camera died while I was in this process and focused on the cake making, not focused on the camera being alive or dead, and I wasn't able to get this process on the video. And I will show you how to use fondant in my next tutorial. Anyways, now we're moving on to our final step, which happens to be my favorite step because it's the most fun. We are going to spray paint the keg/cake silver with this Wilson product that I have used in many different colors, and it never ever disappoints. It always comes out super sparkly and super shiny, and it covers a whole cake range, so you literally only have to buy one bottle. When can you ever say that about a lot of decorating tools? Usually you have to buy like more than one. Anyways, I'm rambling. Great product. Watch how we do it. Guys, we did it. We've reached step 10 and we can put the pump on the cake, and now our keg cake is complete. Now my date and I, the cake, are gonna head over to the birthday party. Until next time on Heather's How To's.